Imagine this. One morning, scientists finally finish the impossible. A perfectly straight tunnel, drilled from one side of the Earth to the other. No twists, no turns, just a clean, smooth passage cutting through the planet's fiery core from somewhere in the United States straight to the opposite side. Perhaps deep in the Indian Ocean. The project took decades, required materials that could withstand the heat of magma and the crushing pressure near the core, and cost more money than all the world's governments combined had ever spent. But it's done. Humanity has its first direct passage through the heart of the planet. And now, someone has to jump in. Let's say that person is you. You stand at the edge of the gaping tunnel, wearing a special heat-resistant suit. There's no air inside, otherwise the friction would burn you alive. The tunnel has been completely evacuated to create a vacuum, so nothing slows your fall. One deep breath, a step forward, and you jump. At first, you feel weightless, like an astronaut. Gravity pulls you down with increasing force, and you start to accelerate, faster and faster. Within seconds, you're falling at over 300 kilometers per hour, then 1,000, then more. There's no air resistance, no wind in your face, no sense of speed, except for the strange pressure building in your ears and the dizzying awareness that you're moving through the Earth itself. As you fall deeper, the planet around you grows denser. The pull of gravity, once strong, begins to weaken. Why? Because the mass above you starts cancelling out the mass below. At the surface, all of Earth's gravity pulls you toward the center. But once you're inside, it's different. Only the mass still beneath you pulls you forward. Eventually, as you approach the core, that force becomes weaker and weaker. At the halfway point, the very center of the Earth, something strange happens. For a brief moment, you're weightless again. You've accelerated for about 20 minutes straight, reaching a maximum speed of over 28,000 kilometers per hour, faster than any jet or rocket on Earth. Then gravity begins to pull you in the opposite direction. You start to slow down as you climb toward the other side of the planet. If there's no air, you'll keep going. Your momentum will carry you almost perfectly to the surface on the other side, like a pendulum swinging from one end to the other. You pop out for a second, see the bright sky of the opposite hemisphere, then fall back again, repeating the journey forever. Down, up, oscillating through the Earth like a human pendulum. It would take about 42 minutes to go from one side to the other. But of course, reality isn't that simple. A vacuum tunnel is nearly impossible to maintain. If any air leaked inside, you'd face instant death. The friction would heat the air around you to thousands of degrees, burning everything to ash. The tunnel would collapse under its own pressure. Even if it somehow stayed open, the temperature near the core would melt almost any material known to science. And then there's the issue of the planet's rotation. The Earth spins at over 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. If you jumped in without accounting for that, you'd smash into the tunnel walls almost immediately, turned to dust by the sheer sideways velocity difference. Still, imagine it worked. You'd pass through layers of rock older than life itself, through regions no human has ever seen. You'd fall through the mantle, molten orange-red, glowing like a sea of fire. Then through the outer core, a liquid metal ocean hotter than the surface of the sun. In the inner core, solid iron and nickel would shimmer with strange magnetism, bending your compass and perhaps your sense of direction. For a moment, it would feel like time stopped. No sound, no movement, just infinite pressure and silence. Then, as gravity flipped direction, you'd begin your long climb toward the light. Emerging on the other side, you might find yourself floating above the ocean, the exit point deep underwater. You'd hover there for an instant, suspended by momentum, before falling back again into your endless journey. You'd become a ghost traveler of gravity, forever swinging through the heart of the Earth. It's a poetic thought, the idea of a human pendulum inside our spinning planet. In a perfect, frictionless vacuum, the laws of physics would let you fall forever, with perfect rhythm and precision. No engine, no fuel, just gravity, the oldest force in the universe, moving you endlessly from one side of the world to the other. Of course, no one will ever actually do it. The Earth's core is too hot, the pressure too immense, the materials too weak. But the thought experiment teaches something profound, that gravity, motion, and balance are all connected, that even if you fall endlessly, you never truly stop. You simply change direction. So maybe the question isn't, what if you drilled a hole through the Earth and jumped in? Maybe it's, what would you discover about yourself if you could? Because in that silent fall, through darkness, heat, and fire, you might realize that every descent eventually becomes a rise again, that even the deepest plunge leads you back toward the light. And perhaps that's the real lesson buried beneath the crust of this imaginary journey. No matter how far you fall, there's always another side waiting for you.